morning Year 4 and welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. Now for this lesson you will need your booklet, so if you've got the Year 3 booklet then this video is for you. And today I would like you to turn to page 32. So it's going to be this page here, so we are no longer looking at money, we are now going to be looking at time. So I want you to be on just this page for today. Not any further on, but just this page. So we're going to be having a look at time today. So our learning question is, can I begin to tell the time? Now we're going to go through a PowerPoint which talks through time, just a bit of a recap, and then we're going to have a look at which clocks are showing the correct time, okay? So let's start. So here is a clock face, and you can see that this is a circle with numbers that go all the way up to 12. Now here we start with 12 and we go what we say clockwise. So we work around the clock this way. So we go 1 to 2 to 3. We don't go backwards, we go clockwise. Now there are two hands for a clock. You have got the hour hand. Now this is the shortest hand on the clock, so we know that the hour hand is the shorter hand. And then what we have is the minute hand. Now the minute hand is the longer hand, so when we say hands, these are the arrows that are pointing to the time, okay? And we call them hands, clock hands. So the shorter hand is the hour hand and the longer hand is the minute hand. Now when the minute hand is pointing to 12, on an hour, it means that this is o'clock. And for this time, it would be 8 o'clock because the minute hand is pointing to 12. So on this clock, the hour hand is pointing to 8 and the minute hand is pointing to 12. So this clock is showing that the time is 8 o'clock. Now, other than o'clock, we do move around, okay? So each time we move to the next number is a 5-minute interval. And then on the outside, where the big numbers are shown, this will show you which hour we are on. So if we were pointing to the 3, it would be 3 o'clock. The 4 would be 4 o'clock. 11 would be 11 o'clock. So we're going to show you some clock faces now, and I want you to have a think at home. Can you tell me what the time is? Now we know here that the minute hand is pointing to 12, so we know that that's going to be o'clock. And what is the hour hand pointing to? The number 7. So what time is it? Can you tell me what time that is? 7 o'clock. If you had 7 o'clock, then well done. It is 7 o'clock. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. So we're still on o'clock because the hour hand is pointing up to the 12. The minute hand is pointing up to the 12, sorry. The hour hand is pointing to 3. So what is the time? Have a think, say it in your head, or you can write it down at home. So the time would be 3 o'clock. And if you've got 3 o'clock, then well done. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So we've got o'clock, because the minute hand, the long hand is pointing to 12, and then we've got the short hour hand is pointing to 11, so the time should be 11 o'clock. Okay, so you can see it is 11 o'clock. Now here, our hands are straight. One is pointing to the 12 and one is pointing to the 6. Now we need to make sure which hand is pointing to which so we know the time. My long hand is pointing up to the 12, so I know that it's going to be o'clock. It's going to be an hour on the dot, and what is the hour we are looking at? Well, the hour hand is pointing to 6. So the time is going to be 6 o'clock. Okay, let's have a look at these at home then. So can you tell anybody at home, or you can tell yourself, what is the time on the clock? It is 9 o'clock. Okay, now we've got both hands pointing to the 12. So if the minute hand is pointing to 12, it's 12 o'clock. Well done if you've got that at home. And now we're going to have a look at 3 different clocks. Which one of these clocks shows that it is 2 o'clock? So let's have a look. All of the minute hands are pointing to 12, so it is o'clock. This was pointing to 8, so this is going to be 8 o'clock. So it's not that one. This one's pointing to 3, so what is the time? 3 o'clock. So it's not going to be that one. This one, the minute hand is pointing to 12, so we know it is o'clock, but the hour hand is pointing to 2, so it is 2 o'clock, so we can tick that that was the correct one. Okay, so which one of these clocks show 4 o'clock? So is it going to be the first one, the second, or the third? Have a look at home and we will tick on which one we think it is. So we've got, they're all o'clock, but the hour hands are pointing to different numbers. Hopefully you did recognise that it was this one is the correct one. These do not show 4 o'clock because the hour hand is not pointing to the number 4, where it is on this one. Okay, so our next one is 10 o'clock. Have a look at home. We've got the hour hands pointing at 12, but the minute hand's pointing at 12, but my hour hands are pointing to different numbers. So we've got the 4 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. So the clock which is showing 10 o'clock would have been the middle one if you got that at home. These two do not show 10 o'clock. Okay, so this is the time that we go home, and so we all can recognise this time. Which of the clocks shows that it is 3 o'clock? Okay, so we know that all of the minute hands are pointing to 12. We need to be focusing on the hour hands. Which one is pointing to 3 o'clock? Okay, so well done if you got the middle clock, because that is the correct clock. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to a game on top marks. This is something that you can access at home, and this will help you with your time problems in your workbooks today. So let's go on to our final activity. Okay. Okay, so we're going to press play. Now you can select a level on here, and in your books we are not just focusing on o'clock, we are also focusing on different intervals within the hour. So I'm going to have a look at reading time to the nearest 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to be looking at a 12-hour clock because that's what we've looked at today, and you can either choose whether you want it timed or untimed. We will go on untimed just so you can see how to play the game. Okay, so the clock is ticking. What is the time? So, the reason why I haven't put it onto a timed method is because this is where we need to be looking at the clock faces to see what time it is. So the hour is still actually on the 5 because it's not quite got to the number 6 yet. So even though it might not be pointing bang on to 5, it's not 6 o'clock yet. Now my minute hand, the long hand, is actually pointing to the number 8. And remember, we start in 5-minute intervals from the number 12. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So my time is going to be 5:40. Can we see 5:40? Yes, we can. Okay, let's have a look then. What is the time? So my hour hand, let's have a look at the hour hand. It's not quite got to 10, it's just gone past 9. So we are still in the 9th hour. We need to have a look at my minute hand now to see how many minutes past 9 I am. So you can start from the number 12 in your 5 times table and count the intervals. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So the time would be 9:25, which we can see there. 09:25. Let's see if you can do this one at home. Okay, so here is the time. The time is almost on the 3, but not quite. Okay, so we're not quite in the 3rd hour, and then you need to count in your 5 times table from the 12 all the way round to where the minute hand has stopped. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do that at home. Okay, so we've already said that the hour hand has not quite got to the 3. It will be 3 o'clock, but not for another 10 minutes. So how many minutes past 2 are we? Because we are still in the second hour. So we can count, you can count along with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So we said we're in the second hour, so it's 2. And then how many minutes past did we say was 50? Can you spot 2:50 on your devices at home? So we've got 02:50. Okay, so we'll have another 2 goes of this, so we can see what is the time. Now when our minute hand is pointing right down to the 6, we don't actually need to be counting our 5-minute intervals because we know we are halfway through the hour, so we call it half past when the minute hand is pointing to the 6. So this is half past and the hour hand has just gone past the number 6. It's not quite got to the 7, so the time is 6:30. Now if we wanted to show this on a digital, we need to be looking for the hour to be still in the hour 6, but half past means that there are 30 minutes that have gone past. How many minutes are there in 1 hour? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour, so half of 60 is 30. So the time I am looking for is 6:30. Can you spot 6:30 at home? So we've got 06:06, 06:20, no, 08:30, the hour isn't right. Here we've got 06:30, and it is 06 because it hasn't quite got to the 7th hour. So that is correct. Okay, let's do our final one before you start to do your work at home. So what is the time? So what is the hour hand just gone past? Have a look. Can you say where it is at home? So it's just gone past the number 11. How many minutes past? So we can start with our 5-minute intervals. 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 past 11. 20 minutes past 11. But we need to show that on a digital clock. So we need 20 minutes that are past 11. These are the minutes here, 20, the hour is 11. So here is 11:20. Now you can access this game at home if you type into a Google search bar, telling the time, top marks, and maybe you've had a go at this before, even when you've been at school, so you can practice telling the time, and this will really help you with your learning for today. Now when you've finished your work, please make sure to send all of your work in through pictures onto our Year 4 email address, and then I can have a look and maybe I can provide you with some feedback if you do need any. Okay, good luck everybody, and my challenge for you today is to just have a look at clocks to see if you can tell the time. See if you can tell the time on an analogue clock, which is one that looks like this, or digital, which is one that is represented like this. Good luck everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.